right? You guys have always been able to not just survive, but thrive. You've expanded. You have Ryan Grimm, who I think is, I said earlier, one of the great foreign policy reporters in all of America. What him and Jeremy Scahill have put together at Dropsite is truly incredible. It's invaluable for the people to be able to read and access that. I was so excited when they left The Intercept. I could hardly take it. It's been, even more than we could have ever asked for from them. So you guys have been able to incorporate that into breaking points, and you still aren't taking corporate cash. How do you pull it off? And do you have people reach out to you and be like, yo, we're Coca-Cola, we want to give you $100 million?
I mean, we've had a number of potential advertisers reach out. And I think the key was that when we started the show, Saagar and I have had a very clear cut understanding of what we were willing to do and what we weren't. And so there can't be any sort of like slippery slope. It's just, no, we're not doing ad reads, period. Don't care how much you're going to pay me. Don't care who you are. It could be like, Puppies for Children Are Us or whatever, like the most beautiful product in the world, but we're just not doing that. We're never going to talk to an advertiser or a sponsor. Everything has to be at arm's length. We're going to balance, the programmatic ads with direct audience premium memberships, because you also have to worry about audience capture too. And I do think maybe partly because we have this ideological divide on our show. Like, I always know that there's going to be a portion of the audience that hates what I'm saying. So I can't really be audience captured no matter what, because we just have that like divide as part of what we signed up for in the deal. But we just, really stay true to those values. And like, we're really fortunate. The channel is really successful. It's successful beyond my wildest dreams. Like, I'm good with that. I'm happy. I don't need to grab for some, giant pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. We feel really proud of what we've been able to build. And I think one of the also challenges moving forward is to help people understand that just because you're on YouTube or you're a podcast doesn't mean that you're independent, doesn't mean that you're uncorrupted, doesn't mean that you're any different or less propagandistic than mainstream news. In fact, in many instances, many of these channels are actually worse. So, for us, I think it was just being really clear upfront and understanding the marketplace. And, we're really fortunate. We also got to start at the Hill. So we got to understand the landscape before we jumped in with our own show. So we weren't like figuring things out as we went. We kind of knew what we were getting into. And so we're able to build it that way. But yeah, I appreciate you saying that though. It's very kind. I mean, I am proud of what we've been able to do and sustain through all kinds of different political ups and downs and different news cycles and different, this team's up, that team's up, whatever.
I mean, you guys should be as proud, probably prouder than you are. I mean, it's truly something to remark at, given the fact that.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, given the fact that everybody else is selling, the progressive movement down the river, you've had conviction, you've been able to grow. It's something that we can look up at and admire and say, these guys did it. It makes it more attainable for everyone else.
I also think it has to be pointed out that the Hills Rising has just totally gone off a cliff as far as its quality. Do you have any observations about the way they've run your brand into the ground entirely?
It's weird. It feels weird. It feels weird. I gotta say. I mean, at this point, we've done Breaking Points longer than we did Rising, so it feels a little removed and distant. But especially for a while, it was so strange to have this thing that truly Saagar and I built. Right, like the concept of it, the approach, the ideological straight, like all of the radars, all of it, like we built. And then to have someone else mouthing the words like, what's on your radar? I'm like, what is this? This is so weird to have this like phantom ghost product out there. I guess the best thing I could say is it's a testament to the strength of the concept that it still exists to this day, even in like such a strange and bizarre world form. But I don't know. It is a weird thing. I have to confess, every once in a while I'll go and check in like, what's going on over there? But
just laugh.
It's weird too, because it seems like for a second they kind of did successfully recreate your dynamic with a few different people.
Well, they have Emily.
Yeah, some of them exactly.
Yeah,
but even then,
like, how about we come over with you guys? And we're like, great, let's do that.
Yeah, that was so epic. But even then afterwards, I think they had like Kim Iverson and Brianna Joy Gray, some people that kind of spoke to the anti-establishment sort of air. But now it just seems like they're trying to be a normal corporate news network or something without any of that anti-establishment sort of lens, which is really bizarre. And the numbers have totally fallen off a cliff, I think, as a result. But
Also,
I
the
guess
To be
production
honest,
value.
like
yeah, that too.
I don't even know who's on. Like I know Robbie's there, but I don't even know who the other hosts
Robbie,
are.
the company man. And hey, look, I've heard a lot of nice things about Robbie. I'm sure he's a good dude, but the shit that comes out of his mouth sometimes, oh my God.
I know, totally. Yeah,
And-
totally. But I will say my TV mentor from like back in the day, who I still love and really look up to, and who was sort of this like iconic TV producer guy. He always said, "There's no bad ideas, there's just bad execution," and I think this is kind of like a perfect emblem of that. It's obviously it's a good idea, it's successful, but you have to execute it with in the right way with people who have ideas in the right whatever. Anyway,
yeah,
it's kind of a mess.
yeah, definitely. Well, like you said, it's really cool to see that the Breaking Points brand has continued to be relevant. People continue to rely on and trust you guys for not just the facts in the news, but also, like I said, those really good conversations that you just don't see a lot of on cable news, but even on podcasts, where two people that are really intelligent, coming prepared with substance and facts to back up their perspectives and opinions, are actually able to hash it out in a way that's not just emotional or sort of culture war based, but actually a real discussion about this country and the path forward, et cetera, et cetera. Obviously we continue to love it, and thank you so much, Krystal, for stopping by the show. You're super busy, so it means a lot.